What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I am DL here with another classic movie review, and I'm using this term lightly for this piece of crap. We are back talking about the Alien films. Alien Romulus is going to be out in theaters in August, so I'm going back and talking about all the primary Alien films. So this is not including Alien versus Predator. It's not including the Predator films. Just the Alien movies. Uh, I might talk about them at a later date, the Alien vs Predator films, and I definitely talk about the Predator movies at a later date. But I just want to focus on Alien. So I've already talked about the first three Alien films: Alien, Aliens, and Alien 3. If you haven't seen my reviews for those, check out my channel. It is going to be on a playlist called Alien. But today we are talking about the fourth installment of the Alien franchise, Alien Resurrection, that came out in 1997. All right, let's get this shit over with. So after Alien 3, I lost most of my enthusiasm for this franchise. I love the first two films, Alien and Aliens. Two of my favorite science fiction horror films of all time. Aliens is one of my favorite films of all time. And then Alien 3 came out, and it just felt like it just ruined everything that was established in the first two films. I didn't like that they killed Hicks and Newt in Alien 3. I didn't like the whole plot of Ripley being stuck on this prison planet with a bunch of psychopaths. Yeah, I thought it was a very underwhelming way to, at the time, they thought was going to end the franchise. So, yeah, I didn't have a lot of enthusiasm with the Alien films. I definitely go back and watch the previous two. I mean, yeah, the first two films, but yeah, I just, no. So I didn't know anything about Alien 4. I didn't know they made a fourth Alien film for the longest time. I thought it was just the three. I found out about Alien Resurrection randomly just watching stuff on cable. I saw it come on, and I saw Alien Resurrection, and I was like, oh, Alien Resurrection, that's another Alien film? Okay, I thought the third film was the last one, but okay, yeah, I guess I'll watch another Alien film. Let's see how it goes. Please be better than Alien 3. That's all I could ask at this point. I don't even know if they should have made another Alien film if you're not going to have Sigourney Weaver, because like Sigourney Weaver, spoilers, died in the third film. So like, what, are we going to follow a new set of people for an Alien film? Like, what are we doing here? Like let me, when I tell you, I had no context about what Alien Resurrection was about, who's in it, all that stuff. Like literally, I caught this movie on cable, and I just clicked it on, and saw what would ensue in that film for the first time. And I really wish I didn't, because Alien Resurrection, I hate this movie. I hate it. This is absolutely horrible. I'll say up front that I do think this is the worst Alien film in the entire franchise. So for all you fans of Prometheus and Alien Covenant, that's one thing you could look forward to when I eventually talk about those two films. That, you know, I don't think those two are worse than what we've gotten before. Because this movie, what were they thinking? I was in utter shock of what I just watched. So they didn't think it was enough for them to, you know, with what they ruined in Alien 3, you know, like, even though I didn't like Alien 3, I see what they were trying to do with trying to end the franchise there. You know, like it was like they were trying to do a decent send off with Ripley. Did I think it worked all the way through? No, but I see there was a little bit of effort there. And, you know, there were some interesting concepts that they were introducing in Alien 3, as far as like, you know, the aliens being born out of animals and they take on a different shape and form. That's an interesting concept here. Now, going back to the Ripley thing, because that was the end of Ripley's story in Alien 3. But Alien Resurrection decides to I'm like, okay, just let you guys know, I will probably mention some spoiler stuff in here because I really don't care about this movie, and I really don't think you guys should care about it either if you haven't seen it. If you guys haven't seen this movie, you guys are one of the lucky ones because like I'm not going to be nice about this film, so I'm not really going to care about spoilers that much. So if that's something that's going to bother you, probably click off another video, find a different non-spoiler review because like I can't with this. So they decide to make a clone of Ripley. Yeah, this is what we're doing. We are making a clone of Ripley. Um, like, why? Okay, so so this movie takes place hundreds of years after the events of Alien 3. And there are these scientists that somehow got a DNA strand of Ripley, and they attempt to make multiple clones of Ripley. Why? I don't know. I don't know. I like I'm sure the movie tries to tell you a reason. Maybe it has something to do with like with the xenomorphs, or they're trying to figure out something with they're trying to extract something with their because like an alien tried to bust out of her chest, and like they're trying to I really don't know. I really don't know. So that really upset me because like you can't even let the character die gracefully. Like you can't let the character be happy, and now you're just taking her remains and making this weird clone of Ripley. I don't understand it. I'm surprised Sigourney Weaver signed off to do this movie. Like, if I read the script to this, like I'm not doing this. Like, and like the fact that this Ripley clone has superpowers, and I guess has some DNA signatures of the xenomorphs. Like her blood turns into acid like a xenomorph. She has superhuman strength. She can sense like surroundings. She has super hearing. Like what? I just Oh, and apparently she knows how to play basketball really well. Yeah, because there's a basketball scene in here. I I don't I don't know, guys. I really don't. I was baffled with the choices made in this film. Let me talk about this. Let me talk about this director real quick. Jean-Pierre Jeunet, French director, and you could tell, like, okay, look, I don't have any issues with, with the French in general. Like I've never been to France, whatever. But it seems to be a pattern whenever you get these French directors, they're always making these weird choices with the direction, with the actors' performances, with the story. Like, this is the first time Jean Pierre has worked on a big budget film like this. And I found out in the making of this movie, he did not speak English at all. How did he get this movie? Like, I guess his previous work, like he's like critically acclaimed with his previous work, but like there is such a disconnect with the writing and the structure of this film. I don't understand it. Um, and also finding out that Josh Whedon has a writing credit in this movie, and when you hear the dialogue in this film, that makes a lot of sense because the dialogue in this movie is awful. There are some really corny punchlines, one-liners. Like there's some decent dialogue in here, like this vintage Josh Whedon stuff. Like I can feel it, but then it's mixed with other weird ass dialogue here and there. Like especially Ripley clones, dialogue. What the actual hell? There's dialogue like, "Who do I have to fuck to get off this ship?" Or she's getting like really seductive with Winona Ryder's character for some reason. We'll talk about Winona Ryder later, but like there's like weird stuff like that. Like the characters in this film are like weirdly seductive and just like sensual, and there's a bunch of innuendo in here for no reason. Like why? Why are we doing this? French directors, man. I don't know. And then Josh Whedon, what was he smoking writing this film? I don't want to blame him completely because he wasn't the only one writing this film, but it's just like it's just so strange what like how this movie is written. I'm so freaking confused. This movie has some of the most like over the top deaths and like dark moments in here, and then it wants to be really goofy, silly, and over the top. And I don't understand it. Even the aliens are acting weird in here. Like I don't know, they're just like first of all, like they have a similar issue with but with the raptors in the Jurassic Park films, where it's like they just stand around talking to each other for no reason, and it's like instead of just killing their prey, like I don't understand it. I don't get it. But yeah, like there's be goofy scenes like when a xenomorph is killed somebody, like they have like their inner mouth thing like stab someone in the back of the head, and then the guy pulls out a piece of his brain and looks at it and then dies. And then you have other goofy scenes like there's a guy that gets a face hugger clamped on him, and a xenomorph is being created in him, right? And then when the xenomorph is about to pop out of his chest, he somehow remote controls the guy to assault another man, two other people, headbutt them, and then the xenomorph pops out of the guy's chest and stabs two guys through the head, through the brain, and then he dies. And then there's it's really silly, over the top moments like that. I'm just like, why? How did this movie get made? Really, the only good sequence I can think about in this movie, a good action sequence in here, is the underwater sequence with the xenomorphs. When Ripley and the rest of the crew is running from the xenomorphs underwater. Like that's a pretty cool sequence because you've never seen a xenomorph interact in the water before, and that's actually really good. Like that's one thing I'll say. Even though there's some really goofy shots and weird sequences, I will say when Jean Pierre is focused, he actually has some really nice shots, cinematography, and action set pieces. He actually is very creative when it comes to some of his action scenes in here. That's the one thing I could say that's better than Alien 3 is direction-wise, cinematography-wise, editing-wise, it's more creative and more visually interesting to watch than Alien 3. But yeah, the underwater sequence with the xenomorphs, that's literally the only sequence in the film that I liked in here. Like, that's it. Everything else I just don't care about. If we're talking about the other characters in this movie, Winona Ryder, who's the android in this film, he felt completely out of place. I like Winona Ryder. I think I enjoy her, in quite a few things, but I don't think she fit in an Alien film, which is ironic because this is not the first time she's been in like a sci-fi horror franchises, but for some reason, it just felt like she was out of place. She was doing the best with the material that she was given, but like the whole time I'm just like, you don't seem like you fit with this group. And maybe they did that on purpose because there's other actors in here that you would think don't really fit in here either, but they somehow made it in here. For instance, Ron Perlman. I love Ron Perlman. I think he's great and he's decent in this film, but he's felt out of place too. It's just, I don't know. It's like he's doing this typical Ron Perlman asshole type of thing. Like, if you've seen his character in Blade 2, you've pretty much seen his character here. And yeah, there's some witty back and forth that he has with Sigourney Weaver, but that's about it. Like, I don't know. I love you. Bless your heart, Ron Perlman, but why are you in this film? The guy in the wheelchair, Dominique Pinon, is just the guy in the wheelchair. I guess they're trying to make him like the sweetest of other than Winona Ryder. I guess they're trying to make him more of like the nicer, positive person of the group, but like he's very one-dimensional as well. I don't really get to know him that much as a person, other than okay, he's not as much of an asshole as the other people in the group. And then Gary Dourdan as like the gunslinging dude. Like, okay, his acting was terrible in this, but like another goofy thing about this movie is that whenever he's shooting his guns, he's able to ricochet the bullets off of different parts of the wall and like suspension beams. Like he can ricochet the bullets perfectly and accurately to shoot whatever he wants, like a cartoon. How ironically, though, when they were in that underwater sequence, when there's a xenomorph like standing like 7 feet in front of him, he can't directly shoot him. Like the xenomorph is like dodging the bullets, like he's in the Matrix, like it's in the Matrix or something. Like, no, I didn't care about his character either. And I don't know, the rest of the scientists, the crew, like I could give two shits about them. I don't even remember. I don't even remember their names. Like the guy with the xenomorph in his chest that did the silly crap before he died. Like I don't know his name. The other crew in here, I don't care about their names because like all of them are just stupid or assholes. That's the majority of the people in this film. I don't like it. Getting back to the aesthetic of this, like while I did say that visually and direction wise it's more creative than Alien 3, I will say that there's this weird green muted color palette in this film I don't like. Everything looks like this ugly muted green. I just don't visually, I don't like how it looks. It looks ugly. It looks, I don't know. No. I'll get it because Alien, like the main color of the marketing is green, so let's make the entire film look green. It's like this weird glossy stuff I don't like. And speaking of glossy, the puppetry on the xenomorphs, they look a lot more gooier than they did in the previous films. Like it extra gooey, and it didn't look right. Like I don't know, it looked like they put extra oil on them. And it's just dripping. I'm like, not to say that they like the xenomorphs in the previous film didn't look like oozing or whatever, but like this is just extremely like they are sweating ooze, and it didn't look right. And then okay, I know you guys are waiting for me to talk about this. The new alien that they introduced in here, the newborn. This newborn. Oh my God. This is the ugliest alien design I have ever seen in the history of film. That design of the newborn is awful. The conception of this newborn is awful. So there's a new alien queen in here, and for some reason the alien queen wants to have a mixed hybrid alien baby with the Ripley clone, because I guess it has alien DNA, so the xenomorphs kind of see it as a part of one of their own, kind of. I don't get it. But yeah, so the alien queen wants to make a baby with the Ripley clone, and it's this newborn is supposed to be a mixture of the two. I cannot emphasize enough how much I don't want to look at this thing. I didn't want to look at this thing. It's not appealing to watch. It's not so ugly that it's cool. It's ugly in the fact like this is a horrible looking design. What were they thinking when making this monstrosity? It's pasty white. It's once again dripping a bunch of fluids, oily looking. It has human eyes, human bug eyes. It has a long human tongue. It has breasts. It has long ET hands and fingers. What am I looking at? This thing looks awful, and it sounds awful. It's like the fact that Sigourney Weaver has to act beside this thing and pretend to have feelings for it, I just cannot fathom. This movie has gone off the edge for me. This is your way of reinvigorating the franchise. This is your way of bringing back the fans and bringing in newcomers as well. This movie is terrible. I cannot believe the decisions made in this film. I think the story is awful. I didn't even think they should have like made a story after killing Ripley in the previous film. But if you're going to make another film with Ripley, you're going to do a story where they're going to make they attempt to make a bunch of Ripley clones. We see the other attempts of the Ripley clones, and they look deformed and everything. That was disturbing to see too. A bunch of other failed Ripley clones with like weird ass deformity and stuff like that. Like I can't do it. This movie's disgusting. This movie is dumb. This movie is silly. This movie's too over the top. I hate the design of the newborn. I hate the concept of them making a Ripley clone. I don't care about the characters in here. The direction here is weird. Yes, there's creative shots and set pieces in here. The cinematography looks more interesting to look at than Alien 3, but at the same time, it does have really silly scenes and sequences. Like they shouldn't have gotten Jean-Pierre to even direct this film. Joss Whedon, I didn't feel enough of his good influences when it comes to the writing. Like this movie is a failure on every level. I hated watching this movie again. I was dreading watching this again, and I don't want to watch this movie ever again. Like at this point, the franchise for me ended at Aliens. Like I don't even want to like consider Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection part of canon. It just makes no sense what they were doing. So I'm giving Alien Resurrection an E. Yeah, it's terrible. No, I cannot. I can't with this film. But those are my thoughts on Alien Resurrection. What did you guys think about it? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys think it was okay? How does it compare to the previous 3 films? Comment your thoughts down below and let me know. I'm glad I got that over with. Well, it slightly goes up from here, but not completely. Because, man, the next film I will be talking about is Prometheus. Ridley Scott's return to the Alien franchise. We'll see how I feel with another viewing of this. I haven't watched Prometheus in years. Maybe I'll change my opinion on it. I don't know. But yeah, that's the next one I will be talking about. So tune in for that. If you guys enjoyed this review, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to hit the bell if you want to be notified on future videos I'll be doing. But that's all I have for you, Alien fans, and I will catch you guys next time. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.